Right, a lot of you are thinking about getting your own sticks now. So today we're going to talk about how I managed to get this grip on my stick, because a lot of people have asked how do I do this bit here. I'm going to talk about the butt end at the end, and I'm going to talk about the size of the stick as well, because when they come it might be too long for you. So as a guide, if you're on your skates, it should be up to about your nose. So if I was on my skates now, I'd need to cut that much off. Because this is an aluminium stick, what you'd do is you'd heat this up to heat the glue up and extend the metal, and you take the wooden bit off, and then you'd measure how much you need to cut off, and you'd cut the metal and then put the wood back. Once you've got it the right size, you then need to tape it up. Now it's totally up to you how you tape it, but I've always done it like this, with a rubber butt end that I bought from a shop, and then I've made this grip. So I've got my good friend Conrad's stick that he's asked me to tape with this horrible yellow tape. He hasn't got a butt end, but most leagues or associations will say you have to have a butt end for safety reasons, and it's always good to have a butt end so you know it's better for grip. So I'm going to make it with black tape to start with. I'm just going to stick the tape around and just keep covering it until it's the right size. And you just keep going round and round and round. There's no science to this bit at all, you just keep wrapping it round and round. Right, so we've now fast forwarded, and I've been wrapping the tape round for about 3-4 minutes, and as you can see it's come along nicely. I've overlapped the end a little bit and then folded it down. There's a bit of cushioning, a bit of padding, and basically the butt end isn't just for grip, it's to protect people's faces, because the butt end stops the stick going through a grill of a goalie's face cage, a player's face cage, and yeah, it adds a bit of protection. So I've just literally been standing there for almost 5 minutes, just wrapping it round and round and round and round and round, flatten it down on the top, flatten it underneath. So the scissors, just cut it, and now this is the secret bit, how I make the grip that goes down the stick. Now again, you don't want to waste loads of tape, you want about the width of your hand. So I've got quite small hands, I'm guessing Conrad will probably want it to about there. So I'm going to do it to the start of the red, and I just put one grip. Some hockey players wrap the tape all the way down so you've got an element of grip. Some people have a grip there and then put another grip there. It's completely up to you. Play around with different sticks and different grips. I'm going to use the black again because it's going to be covered. I'll cover it with Conrad's awful yellow tape in a minute. Another thing to note is if you're playing in the UK, I think a lot of leagues will insist on a rubber butt end, and they might also have rules about the colour of the tape. They might stipulate it's got to be white or black, but because we're in Jersey and we're just starting out, if you want to use canary yellow tape, then that's up to you. So anyway, so this is how I get the grip, which is the bit that everyone's been asking about. I just pull a big length of tape, take a seat, rest the stick like that, and just really pull a big long length of tape out. Stick on the floor, stand on it, and again we just stand here, we just sit here for a few minutes, and you just twist it, and it just turns into like a long sticky piece of string, which is what makes the grip. And again you just sit here. You have to pull it quite tight as you're twisting it, otherwise it will all knot up. And you just literally just twist it and wrap it at even bits along the grip. So again, we fast forwarded there because I've just been sitting there for like ages twisting it, and as you can see it's like a sticky piece of string. It's quite tight, and then you just very carefully, starting at the butt end, feed it round. the stick. So you start at the top, and it's easier just to keep the string where it is and move the stick, and then you want to do it evenly. Try and do it evenly all the way down. And if you don't get the spacing dead right, it doesn't matter, because you can still move it before you cover it. See? But it's getting that grip kind of look. See, now I've done too much because I was only going to go down to the red. Okay, but that is basically what you do. You just get that. And you do feel the difference. It doesn't look like much, but you do feel it. And then what I do, and again this is personal preference, and I'm not sure whether this is what Conrad wants or not, but I do a little grip, like a double grip at the end, so I know when I've got to the end of the grip. And you can just stretch it around and space it out a bit. Just try and get it a bit more even. So yeah, and then what I would normally do is then work my way back up the stick with the same coloured tape. And again, you just have to keep flattening it down as you're going, flatten it down. As this is the first layer, it's not too important, but yeah, you just work your way around. Just try and get it as close as you can without leaving any gaps. I mean, this is just the way I do my sticks. I mean, people do it different. Some people just put stick tape on with no grip at all. Some people put just a little bit of, just a few strips on. Some people put absolutely truckloads on. It just depends. And you just play around with different setups to find out what you want. I've just gone and made sure the tape doesn't leave any holes, and then round so all the stringy bits covered, and then I'd end up going down and then back up again and then flatten it down between each one. But what I'm going to do is, because he wants it yellow, I'm going to cut it here and then start again with the yellow. Okay. Now I've switched over to the yellow tape, and I am now covering it and smoothing it as I go. And again, it's quite tricky to get in between. And just try and not crease it up. It's quite stretchy, so you can see that, and just flatten it down in between each grip so you can really feel the grips. Yeah, it's just coming, working out nicely, flatten it down in between, smooth it down in between each grip. And I normally do this about 3 times. So we've got 2 layers already. As you get to the top, go. So round like that, back down again. And the tape on this, it feels quite sticky at first, but then as it just go over this in a minute and just flatten it down. So this is the third layer and the last one. And as I mentioned before, if you play in the UK, they might have rules about the colour of the tape. You know, some leagues only let you have white or black, and you're not allowed to have coloured tape. So that will be something that we may face in the future, hopefully, if we get a bit more successful. But at the moment in Jersey, it looks like you guys, especially Team Conrad, go Team Conrad, are going to use canary tape. So, and then just try and make that end bit look a bit tidier, which it doesn't want to go. Neatest at the bottom there. Right, and then yeah, cut the tape. And then just go in between all the grooves again, flatten it down so you can really feel the grips. Again, as you use it, the tape will settle. And that's it. I'll cover the button next with yellow tape. I'll stick a few layers. Oh, let's flip it around that way. I'll stick a few layers across here to add a bit more padding on the top. Cover it over with yellow tape, and then yeah, it's good to go. With the blade is completely different. How you take the blade out, I mean, Conrad's put quite a bit of tape on this, but it's personal preference. I mean, I would normally just put 2 layers, maybe 3. Some players just put 1 line there and 1 line there, and then that kind of gives them a guide where they want to carry the puck or the ball. But you know, when you're playing inline, you really want to cover the blade, and it just helps the blade last longer. But yeah, so that's how I normally do my grips, and that's how I've done the grips on the couple of sticks that the club owns. And yeah, it's, you know, comfortable grip. It does quite well. So that's Conrad stick.